outside of any big city. Gone DOT, we've gone straight to. It's way easier and better service than we get.
They've got this all over. They had it at $80 from them, but they've got it on eBay for 20. Oh, that was pre-owned, but they got it on eBay for $50, $6 delivery, $39.99, $5 delivery.
Well, my cousin's in Ohio.
$49.99 no delivery.
They got served. Started using blankets. They got it. Brother's like, hold on, if I can.
I'm still eating breakfast.
Have to deal with Cox cable. He's in Virginia.
Getting internet not over, and we determined that the dish waiting for the new one to be shipped.
All right, guys, this is your PSA. Everybody, we're online. We're on YouTube. This is the San Carlos Computer Club. I'm Scott Stimson from International Computer Solutions. And this is your San Carlos Computer Club. We've got Chester online with us. And we've got Paul and Linda and Christine and Dave and Judy and Sid and myself here in Tequilas. Jonathan's here as well, serving us breakfast. And we're ready to go. How are you guys doing this morning?
Here.
Linda has brought a topic. I think Dave's got a topic. Judy's got a topic. I don't have the document open at the moment. I typically have a prepared document, but I know I only have one topic there. So let me just start by reiterating some of the stuff that we've said in the past. My bed and breakfast is open and taking reservations. I'm still collecting stuff for the smartphones for dummies. I'm stalling while I get this document up. How come I'm having so much trouble finding this document? And Linda is not ready yet to share with us
Judy's
her
ready.
topic.
I'm ready.
Judy's ready to share her topic, and I finally got my document up. Looks something like this. So what, did I miss anything pulling it out of my butt? Oh, and the Bill of Digital Rights. All right. There you go. If you've been with us before, you know what all those three things are all about. If you have any questions, get a hold of me outside of the meeting. But otherwise, there's info right there in the document. Judy, what is your topic for today?
Well, I had my eye, and all of a sudden I noticed it was down to like, so I plugged it in with this. And it started going to 30 or 50, and to 41, and then I turned it off.
So it's gone. You're thinking that one of those items has gone bad on you.
Well, I don't know. Does that happen?
It does. It does,
Like
but it's
that?
Well, you know, we often say it works till it's broken. So what's interesting that you're reporting this experience with equipment that you trust,
And it's brand. My iPad is brand.
because Sid just had this experience with his iPad, and it was the same experience where it would not go past a certain percentage.
Right, like somebody wants to.
Yeah, his was stuck on what, 27, 28?
Yeah, until we plugged it into the laptop.
What made the difference was plugging it into my Mac Mini, because what we were about to do was a system restore, because we were thinking the battery's gone bad, like it's just had a problem, and he's going to use his warranty, Apple Care, to get it taken care of, because we've tried different blocks, different cables, can't get it to charge.
Is it fixed?
Well, that's where we're going with this is so we're gonna do a system reinstall, and I plug it into the Macintosh, and I start going through those motions because you got to download that software, and we watch as it begins to charge. And plugged into my laptop, it charged up to 100%. But all of this was provoked by it not charging in the first place.
This happened Sunday. So I was like, "Great, how am I going to get my iPad?" Yeah. Well, plug it in, all new. Quick and
The next step I was going to use.
Well, we already did that actually.
Well,
we replaced the brick, we replaced the cable, did not get any love out of it, didn't charge up anymore. So that's what got us to, it's probably the battery, but we should make sure it's not software. And we were about to do the firmware update.
I had done
You'd already done the 18.3?
18.3.
Yeah. So we backed it up, and we're gonna flash it back to factory settings and do the firmware
Very
update.
weird.
And while in the process of downloading that software, just collecting the resources, we watched it charge up to 100%, but it was not doing that. We have another 20 megabyte tested brick that works just fine, cable that just works
So
fine.
that's my question. How do I test?
Well, right now the most consistent thing would be to have another device that can use that cable. Yeah, so I would plug it into that and see if it
But I
charges
was
that other
afraid to.
device. Say
My
again?
phone, and I was really afraid
Oh, okay.
for fear this somehow
Well, I would say
corrupted.
we've
whatever.
gone through that period of
Mhm.
time where that would be like you'd be thinking it's sketchy, it would do something. I would say that there's more than likely it just wouldn't charge. That would be the worst outcome from using it on another device, is it just wouldn't charge.
Okay.
I
The light was on, and it said it was.
see Sid
Yeah,
was having
same
that
thing.
experience as well with an iPad. What generation is your
I
iPad?
don't know. I got it
So
in July.
Is it iPad Air or?
No, it's a Pro.
Okay. Yeah, that's, I forgot what. Is mine.
But you're not a pro.
No, I'm an iPad Air.
On my-
I'm thinking something cool. But I
Yeah.
don't have the update. Still at 18.
I can't.
But you could still blame it on Apple. If we can correlate these experiences to an iPad glitch, they can, they can send pulses down to
Yeah.
your system that they
I
think
just
are the
didn't
right
even wanna
pulses.
turn it back.
Yeah, no, I was getting really. So I can send that off to.
Yeah, because it was feeling like it was a battery issue. Now, Sid, since then, have you plugged it back into your regular charging brick? Is it working fine?
That anchor strip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not charged. It hasn't gone down, but I don't have a lightning bolt.
Yeah, I did.
I got to
That
look
was
at it
the
again.
weird-
But something else I was going to try is I've got
Try a
power
different cable.
supply for my laptop.
Oh,
It's
that's it.
SBC, and it's 65. And fast charge, I plugged it in the tablet before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Better get that when it gets down.
Hey, Chester, are you able to hear that dialogue?
Well, it looks just like all my other cables, so it's like I plug it in by accident.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I cannot hear
I
it.
have.
You can't hear it.
It's,
Let me
intelligent.
try.
I can hear you just fine.
Oh, good.
as
good.
much as your
Yeah,
device
it's just
will
the other
be
end of the
routed,
table's a little far away.
as much as your device will be routed power.
So
No, thank
if
you.
I had to speculate, so let's, Judy, great story. I'm happy to take this and test it for you, or you can try it again. I mean, it's up to you.
I'll give it a try. Is there
Yeah.
some way that this was why I brought it, maybe defective?
I would plug it into your cell phone and see if it charges a cell phone. And I would wiggle the cables to see if
But
it's got a
it said
loose.
it was charging. At the lightning bolt was, but it wasn't.
Well, it may not be creating enough current, which would mean probably the cable is fine, but the charger is had a problem. You might try using the cable to plug into your laptop and see if it charges.
The cable is,
What could be the cable?
well, they're both old because
Yeah.
I just moved my old ones over to my
I
new and
use
saved my.
multiple cables that are all new within the. I buy really good quality.
That and the music all
Um,
night. No, it was Sunday night.
Sunday, there seemed to be some
The
partying
music
going on.
all
Yeah, they were
night
going.
and my iPad, it was like,
Oh. Yeah, when I had now on the power strip, the charging section, I can see how much wattage is going to the
Oh.
devices.
mm-hmm.
And so I narrowed it down to one plug, or one cable only. And then I plugged the tablet in, and it would charge 8 watts, which is not its optimum. Optimum is 20. But it would,
It looked like
It
it was
wouldn't-
charging, but it wasn't
yeah,
charging.
the lightning bolt was on.
Mm.
It was barely getting any juice to it, half of what it should have got.
It's still in the rest of the screen.
And then,
We're gonna have to ask Jonathan.
but it would hold steady.
It's not wood.
Now, anytime it shut off, it stopped charging.
Yeah,
It was,
Yeah. I was looking for bugs.
weird.
There's a woodpecker out there on the metal.
Oh, he's confused.
Yeah, well, there's wood up top. Keep going.
Okay, well, that's that. Are you so, Judy? You're gonna take that and test it some more. This stuff is not that expensive either, so it may be something that you just want to replace just because you know how old it is.
Well, no, I've got lots of bricks and I've got lots of cables because I'm down here
Yeah,
and I don't want to have to deal with it when I'm here.
so you might just want to toss it away if it's
I
giving
may,
you
yeah.
problems.
I never heard of
Okay.
brick. That's interesting.
It is a brick.
Okay, and Linda has brought a device for hot. It's basically a hotspot from the cell carrier, but it's not sold from a local cell carrier. It's sold by the company that makes them, or at least the ones that's distributing it, and guarantees access as a Wi-Fi hotspot through how many countries did you say? 30 something?
30 something.
30 something.
30 something.
37, I think it said.
And it's a $20 a month. The device is really
Nope.
clean. I'm gonna hold it up for my
Okay.
camera here.
So it says it's from Lithuania,
Oh,
the company. Now it says on here, I just looked it up, 3 gigabytes is $39, 5 gigabytes $59, 10 gigabytes $85.
okay. So if you're desperate for data, but it comes with
Yeah.
500 gigabytes to start.
That's what it said. So that's a lot.
So it sounds though still it's for emergencies. It's not for general use. You're not gonna be running Netflix monthly on this.
Right.
It's not going to replace your ISP in your house. But if it's like lifetime 500 gigabytes, I could see you throwing it in your bag and having it as an emergency. Yeah, somebody that travels a lot.
In the car.
Yeah.
Would that be costing less than the hotspot?
Well, it is the hotspot.
I know, but AT&T after 2, whatever,
Yeah.
they start charging me more.
It would
$20 for another one.
probably come down to their service coverage based on how you need to use it. Like, I think Fred was talking to me last week about his cruising around, and he was promoting T-Mobile because he really felt like, and Paul, you said T-Mobile was, yeah, and they show up in these foreign countries and they've got data. They've got their regular data plan. And so that's a real testimony. I think if you were to buy a device like this, you might pursue it because you're going to a certain set of countries, and that's covered on that list.
Mm-hmm.
If
It
that
worked
makes
fine.
sense.
I took it into La Palapa last night. They don't have any internet in there.
La
My
Palapa,
phone didn't
yeah.
work in there. I turned it on. It worked just fine.
So you did Wi-Fi calling through it?
We just played around with it.
No.
And it was working fine. I got on the internet with it and everything.
I like
wonder
the
why your
size.
phone didn't- My phone works a lot.
No, my phone won't work down here because I'm on Mint Mobile.
Oh,
I really like Mint Mobile because it's only $220 a year.
Oh, I like
It's
Yeah.
worth it. So to come down here, I just have another phone with Mexican and a Mexican SIM in it.
For the features, if you don't mind having two different numbers, that's cheaper than getting coverage.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my folks are on Consumer Cellular, and they have the same problem as Mint. They have no coverage down here.
Yeah.
Now, I've been buying AT&T service that works down here in Canada for $300 a year, prepaid, online, and it gives me 16 gigabytes of data as well.
Well,
I've
the
been
Mint Mobile's not unlimited.
unlimited.
So if they get Mexico, it would be worth.
It'd be worth it.
It will be worth it.
But down here, it's got zero data.
Right. Only I use it in the trailer on the Wi-Fi.
So, like mine is, I use for the bed and breakfast. It's an Alaskan number, and I use it all over down here because it goes across the AT&T network.
Well, I used it all over last summer when we were out. All up at Mount Rushmore, all up in that area, all the way to Seattle and back to Arizona. So it worked fine.
I think that's the only real disadvantage of these cheaper carriers is they don't have the plan for
Yeah, but
Mexico.
since they merged with T-Mobile and they just added Canada to it, I'm sure they're going to add Mexico to it.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it would be great because it's really good service. I don't have any problem with it. And for that amount of money, and I buy it once a year, boom, it's over with. Like
What's the name of this hotspot?
this one?
Yeah,
Well, it's called RYOKO,
RYOKO.
but it says my.viaota.com.
My dot
viaota.com. You have to log in. That's
Okay.
where you pay.
That's where the service is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the box came, it's got all the usual on it. Obviously it came with a SIM card and it came with a plug, which she didn't have here. I mean, I've used one at home, but just charge it up. It's got the SIM thing in the side. So I don't know if you put another SIM card in it, it would work.
I wonder how good the batteries are for how long.
I have no idea. It doesn't even look like there's a place to open it.
No, there probably isn't, but it's probably rechargeable like your phone.
Yeah, it is rechargeable.
Yeah.
I just had it plugged in at home, and it looks like the charge lasts a long time in it.
It's interesting. There's some sort of interface on the back, like you'd have a dock for it or something.
Well, I had to scan it.
Mm-hmm.
I scanned it with my phone.
You see, there's some pads on there.
Oh, there.
Yeah, that look like you could dock it with something.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a maybe there's like a mount that you can put, like a wall mount or something. You could have.
Well, they
plug it
only
in.
showed a cord. And it just says upgraded battery.
Yeah. Lithuania, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Creative password.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I don't know. Maybe they're spying on us.
They could be.
Everybody's spying. on us.
Everybody's
What do you mean could be?
Everybody's
Everybody's
spying
spying. on us.
Yeah.
Along with everybody else,
The question is, are they good at it?
foreign or domestic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, cool. All right. Oh, I said that I came with some features that I was very happy to find. Oh, hey, Dave, you have a topic.
My topic is Tableau as a device. Anyone ever hear of it?
Yes.
Know what it is?
No, go ahead.
Tableau is basically marketed as a recording
Is that TABLO?
Yep.
TABLO as a
Okay.
recording device.
Recording device.
So it connects to your, source, and just it's one of its capabilities is it can distribute what it receives over the internet, particularly normally the Wi-Fi in the house. So I originally got it because it was recommended to be cheaper than pulling wires and buy the recording device, but not use the recording part of it.
Is this Tableau TV?
Tableau TV.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, if you have the old model, black, not the
Whole
new model,
home DVR.
huh?
Whole home DVR. That's
Yeah.
what it's marketed as, the product.
But the black model, the old ones, also offer remote access.
Like wireless extension.
So, on my computer right now, I'm connected to my Tableau device in Denver, so I have all the Denver local TV channels from my over-the-air antenna.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
Now, they say their new device is going to do this, but they've been saying that for a year. So what it basically looks like,
So this is
Is-
very.
this is a list of all the channels. So you get like CBS.
Mm-hmm.
CBS has about 6 feeds, in Denver at least, and that's typical.
Sure.
So there's about 50 feeds by the time you get through the list of.
Have a seat, Richard. There's room for you.
Your normal
Sure.
6 people, and if you just, let's see here, channel 31.
So
And it's also available, works on your phone.
what you're showing is a very similar to what Amazon tried to do, right? The that rebroadcast box that you could buy, hook an HD antenna to it, and you could bring in all the local channels and then have access to that throughout your local area network.
What was the name of that?
Recast, I think, is what it was called.
No, there was another one similar to it.
But there's
So this is, my Denver feed.
Uh-huh.
Which is,
And that's
So you
off
can
of
watch-
just one of those like stick on the window antennas.
yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
Now I happen to have one that's mounted on the roof because it's got a better feed.
Yeah, I got it
So-
on the window.
for
What's
where it
the
works.
other one that's been around for a long time? Starts with an S. I can't remember the name of it right now.
But where this particularly works, is somebody who has a place in the U.S.
Yeah.
and down here,
A place that can
particularly if they're
host.
installing new, where you don't have to pull wires or anything to get your feed because you can't get your Wi-Fi to a, or something.
But you don't need another one of these devices in your place down here. You just need the app or access
All
to
you
the
need is the
website.
app, whether it's on your phone
Yeah.
or on the PC or whatever it is.
Okay, where are you guys living down here now?
I'm in Loma Del Mar.
Did you
directly-
buy something?
Well, directly across the street from the
Beatles box.
main thing on C1.
Oh. Okay. So you bought in there? Oh, okay.
We sold our fancy house. Basically,
So we're in
I
Jim and
can't
Lydia's
remember
yard.
The name of this
with our
service.
trailer.
We used to.
I was over there last week, I guess.
Oh, you were over there last week. Okay.
And he says, yeah, you're parked there.
Yeah.
I
Working
can hear
good.
your speakers.
Yeah, you can hear I should turn the audio off, but, that's the TV player on my Denver stuff. So it works handy for sports and other things.
Yeah. That's cool.
Very.
What is the name? Sling box.
Oh, Sling TV.
Yeah, well, the Sling box for Sling TV would allow you to do this. You could
Oh.
have it hooked up to your cable or satellite at your home network.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And watch it remotely. So this is in that group of products. The Recast is very similar. The Amazon Recast has never caught on. I think they still support it, but it's a box that you can hook an HDMI an HD antenna to, HDTV antenna to, and capture your local stations and broadcast it through your internet connection.
But does Tableau cost?
That cost, you have to buy the box originally. The new ones are $100. The older ones are like $200.
Uh-huh.
Because that, even though they say the new ones will have this feature. And then I'm not sure, but they say to have the list of channels, you're supposed to subscribe to what's playing, and that's $5 a month if you want it.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But I'm not sure if it's mandatory or not. It might be. But okay, for $5 I can afford that.
Well, the list of channels, is that referring to your content at your home location or content they're providing as well?
It's what I'm providing.
Yeah, okay.
So your TV doesn't have to be on at home.
No,
It's just plugged in.
Well, it's a
he doesn't even
device.
use TV.
Yeah, it uses the HD antenna that he's set up at that place.
Uses the
At your new place.
It connects to that, and it connects to the internet box.
Okay.
So that's the other trick to it,
Yeah,
is you have to have port forwarding
yeah.
on your modem.
Wait,
So the easy way to do that is actually to get another router where it's very easy to do port forwarding, because a lot of the people like T-Mobile doesn't support port forwarding at all. Let's see, Comcast, they changed the code, and the person who wrote the code didn't have a clue how to set it up, so it's impossible to set it up. Last I looked, I just said, out of hell with it, I'll get out another router and use that. And use it. And the easy way to do that is if you put it in bridge mode, then every setting switches from
it
your modem
it
over to
literally
router.
just turns into a link that you authorize,
Yeah.
and then your modem has all the settings in it. You
Yeah,
can
all the
change,
settings,
yeah.
and then it becomes very
But
easy to set up.
Port forwarding is typically on a modern router on, not off. So it's not hard to imagine you could, for security, you could add another router and just plug it in and see it work. You're not accessing the hardware directly. You're accessing a server out there that's hosting the software to access your Tableau. I imagine that's the business model for this
I would
stuff.
guess, yeah.
Yeah, and so in that case, there probably isn't a whole lot of more than concern for security of your local area network. I bet the port forwarding would
And
happen
port forwarding does
automatically.
everything.
Yeah. I bet it would happen automatically with any modern consumer router without too much trouble. It's just your own security. Like, Dave, you're somebody that knows too much. Somebody that doesn't could just plug it in and it would work. It might be compromising your own
they're-
local area network security, but
They
it would
have
just
very
work.
good instructions, and they are extremely helpful to solve things.
Mm.
I have a TV
And
service.
it's designed for somebody,
a lot of
their
people.
support staff group
if you're
expects the person
interested,
not to know a whole hell of a
can
lot,
have
is
Starlink.
what I would say.
No, not Starlink. Starlink.
Hey, Dave,
is on
I'm
the internet.
happy you're
TV.
here because I would like to hear your opinion on ExpressVPN and the other VPNs that were bought by
Mine
this
is a
company.
box and it has
Well,
1,000
first
TV
off,
channels.
I hate NordVPN.
Which is
Nord is used extensively. These days, people say it's very good. But when I was working, real work, if you installed NordVPN on your PC, there was no way to uninstall it without totally reinstalling the entire operating system for Windows. And so if you were traveling week to week, that was a real pain. You just didn't do it.
it sounds like it broke the stack. It shoved itself into the.
It shoved itself in, and you couldn't unshove it, no matter if you did their uninstall or any tricks that Coulter.
There are ways to do that in Windows, but no normal person should have to know how to do that. A normal person would be reinstalling their operating system.
Yeah. And even if you knew quite a bit about Windows, it was a lot of work.
In Windows 10 and 11, they're actually they have a troubleshooter for resetting the stack now, and it never existed before. You used to have to go to a PowerShell to do it, but now they've actually got a link that you can click that will do it, and it'll bring up a troubleshooter that will reset the
As
stack.
far as quality of VPNs, in my opinion, ExpressVPN is by far the best.
Okay, now this
Yeah.
is what I want to get
Oh,
into.
well, I'm
I
right there
used
in
to
the
recommend ExpressVPN
Okay.
until I
If you
learned they
wanted
were
to come
bought
over,
by
I could show
Cape
you the TV.
Technologies.
That'd be great.
And Cape Technology now
Started.
owns
Yeah.
a whole slew of these VPN. In fact, let me quickly.
Well, the thing with ExpressVPN,
But if you want to drop over, come look. I'll
Is
show
it
you.
a
Yeah. Okay. Oh, it's
cat
wonderful.
and mouse game of can the VPN get you through the blockage of certain TV feeds? And ExpressVPN is very quick to catch it, do something with the servers that are affected, and do something and tell
Doesn't
you
it
exactly
So-
simply
what to
allow
do.
you to choose where the exit node is?
Yeah.
So this is not the
But-
So
topic.
why, if I get
Hold on.
So I have another.
Are you
Question.
familiar with Cape Technologies, both of you? It's an Israeli company that is notorious for creating and distributing malware. They made a lot of money doing that, and now 3-4 years ago, they bought up all these VPN providers. This is a mischievous company that has taken VPNs that we held as being honorable and secure, and they have bought them up, this shady company. This list includes ExpressVPN, CyberGhost, Private Internet Access, PIA, and ZenMate. Essentially, they have gathered this whole, and I don't feel comfortable recommending ExpressVPN any longer. I love the ease of use. I love the router software firmware, but I don't feel right knowing the origin of the parent company, because these are the exit nodes that we need to be concerned about. These are the ones that are going to start tracking your data and selling it to data brokers.
You know, but my take is, since everyone's doing it, what's another
Proton
one? Now I
doesn't
agree,
do
but
it.
Well,
Why would you think that Proton does?
you know, it's,
And Microsoft's 365 is doing away with their VPN service.
Yeah, I noticed that.
oh, that's interesting. That's
Didn't you
really
see that? That
interesting.
was
No, I
an
didn't
Ars
see that.
article
Yeah.
when
yesterday.
I've tried
That's
a
a bummer.
lot of the other ones, you got a lot of blockage on, like you get CBS blocked. And, you know, then it would go out and not be usable for a week or two, where
Well, I think
ExpressVPN, you could call them and that day they'd fix it.
I think in this world of data brokerages, until we're regulating, until we've got laws against collecting your information and selling it off, then we need to be concerned where we're going to deal with the ones that work and are easy are the ones that are selling your data.
Yeah.
The ones that are offering almost free. We're out of cream. Yeah. Jonathan's got to bring us more cream.
Okay.
More cream, por
I need
favor.
it in there.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'll get more.
I think that, in fact, in all of these cases,
Yeah. Yep.
and Richard would probably have a wrap on it as well. All of these cases, everything that is easy and quick and just press a button is probably something we should be concerned about. It should not be that easy. It
Well,
should not.
I think that your basic point about the ownership is the only point. Who are you doing business with? And that's why it drives me nuts that anybody would use basically any of these privately held VPN services when you have Proton out there, and you can go to the About page and see that you're dealing with scientists in CERN who are a not basically for profit
They're-
entity.
yeah.
You know, this is a very different type of service provider, and I'm not speaking technically.
Sure.
I'm speaking,
Yeah.
who the hell are
Right.
you doing business with?
But listen,
Mm-hmm.
Proton, nobody knows who they are. The average Joe
Why-
Schmo who wants a VPN doesn't know who
I
they are.
understand that.
They see
I understand that, and it's a sad thing.
they
It
see
is,
all
yeah.
of these different.
Yeah.
They go on CNET or they go on PC
But
Mag.
you're better than those people because I've told you about Proton.
But we know. But the average Joe Schmo doesn't know.
Well, I don't care about
How do you know?
Well,
you go to PC
no, you
Magazine.
do care, actually, because if you're giving this kind of organization your dollars,
Yeah.
they're just getting bigger. And they know to make it as frictionless as possible, That way they continue to get bigger.
That's right.
I mean, and back to, and I apologize, I'm very bad with names, but to this gentleman's point, I mean, on Proton, you choose your country of exit node, and there are, you know, they're in at least 20 or 30 countries.
But they all have the countries.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. So why did you ever have a problem with any service
I get
based upon VPN blocking?
Because they figure out the
The IP address of a VPN?
they figure out which servers and things are like that.
I can tell you that using Proton VPN, I have never, for years, once run into geoblock.
Well,
Not
might be.
once.
After I've
I
run
don't
into
do
this
that
issue,
much.
and it was really Big Jim, that turned me on to this. As soon as it became very clear to me what was going on, I can't feel right recommending ExpressVPN.
Right.
As easy as it is to use, I can't. And any of these that are on this list, I don't feel right recommending people use. Richard is the only one that has a recommendation that I feel comfortable with, and it's the intent behind the organization that makes it okay with me.
And you know, if you want to play with it, if you just set up a Proton email account, you get access to all of their services at a limited level. What does that mean in the VPN space? What that means is that you only have a choice of 3 exit countries, which are Japan, the United States, and the Netherlands. If you then and even at the free level, I can stream YouTube at 1080. I mean, just as an example of a slightly more bandwidth intensive kind of thing.
This organization has stated in their terms of service they are not collecting any of your information. That everything that goes through their servers is encrypted for end to end, so it's not obvious to them what's being passed through. The free tier, at the very least, you would guarantee you that kind of security and local security. So if you're in a cyber cafe and you're worried about somebody in the corner collecting your bank details, you could turn on a Proton VPN to the States and not have to worry about somebody getting it.
I mean, and it's a beautifully designed app. It's a beautifully designed interface. And if you go up to the pay tier, you basically have all the bells and whistles of Gmail.
Now,
I mean, you got the wallet and I don't use any of these things, but you know, all those amenities.
is there an Android app?
You better believe it, baby. There's an Android app, there's an Apple app, there's, you know.
So I'm curious if it'll work on a Fire Stick. This is another one of my topics. Is that just recently I've set up
$5 a year. And you
ExpressVPN
do
on
get
Fire
freezing.
Sticks. It's a beautiful way
You get
to use a
freezing,
Fire
it
Stick as
freezes,
though you're in
and
the
you have to
United
wait.
States.
But you
What
know
what am I going to
I just
recommend
said
if I'm not
for $65
recommending
a year, you
ExpressVPN?
wanna watch
So I
every
just
football
recently
game, you
set
wanna
up
watch
the
every
Smart
fight, you wanna
DNS
watch-
Proxies VPN on a
Do you
Fire
know what I
Stick.
mean?
I don't
live
watch
with it.
commercials.
Now,
Oh, well, I don't care.
I use
do
Smart
something.
DNS Proxy.
Doesn't matter to me.
It's been one of the ones that we've used for TV that we felt very comfortable with using. Again, information from Jim. He tells me this is a service that's outside the United States. I want to say it's in the Netherlands. I don't remember exactly. But they have provided, if you've signed up for their Smart DNS Proxy, then they also have a VPN that you're able to use. They have an Android version of it, and setting it up on a Fire Stick is a pain in the ass because it is not in the App Store, and you have to go finding it yourself and get it installed like it's a hacker program. Whereas ExpressVPN, you can press the blue button and ask for it to be delivered to your screen. That being said, it's working wonderfully. It's with Smart VPN. What I don't like is I tell it to connect all the time in its settings, and it doesn't. And so my customer, if they lose power, they have to go to the VPN immediately and make sure it's connected before they can start using any of their properties. In the last few days, we've seen things like the Amazon Stick content. If you're familiar with the Amazon Fire Stick, it's a menu of hodgepodge of things that you could click on that maybe you have access to, maybe you have to buy access to. I've seen that home menu just disappear saying it's not available. However, every one of their services was available. They could watch Prime movies in the United States. They could use Netscape or Netflix as though they're in the United States. Hulu, Disney Plus, these are all services they use. Paramount, the app of Paramount would not pop up. We could not install it in the Fire Stick. We couldn't install it without the VPN.
Right.
Because it's not available outside the United States. We could not install it with the VPN because the App Store kept crapping out with the VPN in place. It would not come back with a search result. These are things that are not a problem with ExpressVPN. With ExpressVPN, you're using the stick as though you are in the States. Again, I'm not recommending ExpressVPN. These are my dissatisfactions with SmartDNS's VPN. However, because they were able to continue to get at their content, that's all that really mattered. The rest of that's just marketing anyway. It's just a big menu of stuff they're trying to sell you. And so the customer doesn't care about that. What they care about is Netflix, Prime. And if you guys didn't know this, the Paramount Plus is a direct relationship with Amazon Prime when you sign up for it. So all the Paramount Plus content can come through the Prime app. So you don't need the Paramount Plus app on your Fire Stick because Amazon will just feed it to you through their
You
their
can buy it as a channel on Prime.
Yeah, that's right. You go to Prime and it's a channel.
Okay, so speaking of the stick.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm opening questions the Fire Stick. Go ahead, Linda.
Okay. I purchased.
The Max, I hope, because that's what I'm recommending.
No, I purchased a
The 4K Max. is the one.
Vizio 24-inch TV this summer when we were out on the road. I went into Walmart. They were $90. I purchased its 24-inch. It worked fine in the States. Well, I brought it down here. You cannot use Vizio down here. As soon as you turn it on, it comes up not available in your country. Okay, so I bought, and I was told about this in advance. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known. So I bought a Fire Stick, and I set it up in the States, but then I brought it down here, and I lost some of the stuff, and I tried to put the Roku on it. So now I put the
You
Roku.
tried to put the Roku app on the Fire Stick.
Right, I put the Roku app on the Fire Stick, which is available, but now when I click on all the stuff, it says not available in your country. So I turned on the VPN,
Yeah.
and it still doesn't work.
The VPN is running where? Is
I
it
put
running
the
on the
VPN
stick?
on the stick, on the,
It's installed as an Android app.
as an Android
It is
app on the stick.
configured to be in the United. It's configured to
Be in the U.S.
be in
No,
the
I
US.
put it on down here.
But it's configured. Its exit
Yes,
node is in
but
the
it won't let me
United States.
it won't let me run
Still
the
won't
Roku.
let you use it.
So I don't know what to
Yeah,
do.
I don't have experience with the Roku app running across the VPN, but I would expect it to work.
Now I'm getting Peacock. I'm getting on.
Like all your other ones are working with that VPN.
No, I'm getting Paramount Plus down here, no problem. When I have the
VPN on.
right, but I cannot get Peacock,
Now your Roku,
and it states right on there.
Are you-
And
are you signed up with a Mexican Roku account or a U.S. Roku account?
it must be a U.S. Roku account.
It would have to be for it to work correctly.
And is this because
Yeah.
it's a Vizio
Yeah, with
TV?
a
I don't-
VPN. It shouldn't be because
No.
it's a Vizio.
No,
Because you're bypassing all that. Just
Yeah,
by
you're
plugging
just using
something
it.
in.
so I don't know what to do.
Hey,
I'm getting Paramount
Yeah.
Plus on it, but I can't get Peacock.
What was your?
Two things. I had major problems with Paramount Plus and did lots of testing. And two things you really have to make sure you do whenever you switch anything was one is clear cache for that app. And the other thing is run, if it's Android, run the background apps and services.
Oh.
Are you familiar with that?
No,
Okay. Anytime in Android you start an app, say, let me take a look at this app.
okay, what is it?
It always runs. It is never stopped. You can power it off. It's still running in the background.
Sure.
So you have to go into, there's an app called Background Apps and Services for Android. And
Okay,
what
that's
that-
not on the Fire Stick though. They've called it something else.
No, you can install it there. I did.
Oh,
And
this is an app you
it's an
can
app.
install. Okay.
And that app allows you to cancel all the running apps, but
Mhm.
please don't choose the option of cancel all because it steps you through one at a time. It's actually better to do it. And what you're doing is, what's it called?
Well, you're force stopping the app.
It's a forced stop,
Yeah.
basically. You have to go in, force stop each one, clear cache, then go back, make your change of what you think you want to do with Paramount, and then you've got a clear set of code to work with. Otherwise, you're still running the old code, and you're running the old cache, even though you changed.
But how do you do that on the
Your
Fire
So,
Stick?
so what Dave's proposing is an app that's dedicated to this. On the Fire Stick, you can find these features under the option apps.
Right.
No, you
In
can't.
the yeah, you can.
Not the
Yeah,
background. You can.
yeah, you can.
It still will run.
It won't be laid out the same way, but if you go and explore the properties of your app in your Fire Stick, you'll find the options to force stop it,
You'll
to uninstall it, to clear the cache, to clear
a lot
the
of times
data.
you can't force stop, and you'll find if you run the background apps and services, you'll have a much larger list of what's running.
Well,
than if you,
That may be that may be true with an app dedicated to that. This is an OS option to
Well, if
shut
we
things
brought
down.
a Fire Stick, if I brought my Fire Stick next Tuesday and we plugged it in up there,
You disrupt my meeting.
well, could we use that? Could we use that as a?
You could come early, buy us all
Here's an example
breakfast.
on my Android of just bringing up background apps and services, and here's all the running apps in the background because I haven't looked at it in ages.
Because the OS is not going to let you stop anything that's from Amazon in the Fire Stick. It's going to leave all those things running because it's their apps. But the ones that you've added yourself, you can stop.
I think you can even stop the.
Yeah, you can. I
with
do it
this
often.
app, I think you can stop those things too.
I can stop things. Yeah, you're right. I'm assuming you're right because it would be an app that's dedicated to that job. Whereas the OS, it won't let you shut down things.
Can
It doesn't want you to shut down.
plug in a Fire Stick on your laptop?
No.
No. So if we brought the Fire Stick, we could do a
Like a little
lesson.
run through the
Yeah.
Fire Stick.
Yeah, I want to know about this background apps because I'd like to get Peacock.
Well, what Dave's proposing is that something's not working correctly. You can stop it, full stop. You can clear out all the cache that's been put in there because many times that's what's causing you problems. And then you can restart the app clean.
By restarting the app and clearing the app, you've cleared the app code and you've cleared the cache code. So
But how do you do that on Fire Stick?
So the way you can do that with the apps that you've added is to go into settings under apps and explore the property of the app that you're interested in.
And it'll tell you.
And there will be a stop, there'll be an uninstall, there'll be a clear cache,
Yeah.
and there'll be a clear data. And just beware that if you clear data, you typically are clearing passwords
Password.
Yeah.
and usernames. And so you'll have to put that
Put
stuff
that back
in.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
If you clear cache, that's cache. That's like a movie that's half downloaded.
Right,
or
like you do
whatever it
on your
might be.
tablets
Yeah.
or your phone or
But that's, if you're doing that on your Android system, it's the same thing on the Fire Stick. It's just labeled a little different. It's under apps, under settings, or setup. Yeah.
okay, so I need to go to this background apps and services on the Fire Stick.
Well, the background apps and services that Dave's recommending is an Android app you can install
Okay.
from your app store, I imagine, that would put all that stuff, it focuses on that job of looking at and monitoring what's running in your system and giving you an easy way to shut things off. It is going to definitely be more robust than what Fire Stick has.
Okay, so we have to go in the Fire Stick and do the unknown.
That's right. You'd have to be in
Yeah.
device mode. Unless it's right out of the Amazon App Store. I've never heard of it, so Dave might have a better idea of
What was
whether
it
it's
called
available.
again?
The
Background apps and services.
is that available in the Amazon App Store, or if they want to get it in this.
Bet you it is.
I bet it's not either.
We probably have to click on the unknown app and then
Yeah.
go to.
That's exactly my experience with the Smart DNS VPN. Is I had to go into device mode, allow unknown installs, go find the.
So is that
the
why I can't get
APK.
Roku?
No, Roku's in the App
Get into
Store.
Streamio?
I know. I
Yeah.
downloaded it,
Yeah,
but I can't get anything on it. It says
you're in the wrong country. Now
Right.
it shouldn't even be doing that without a VPN. It must just be aware that you're using a VPN.
so.
If you turned off the VPN, I would
See what I
expect
get?
Roku to come up with stuff.
So this is a really
And you wouldn't
dumb-
be able to use any of the apps because they're all US based apps.
Right, that's right. It
Yeah.
just coming up with that notice.
But it shouldn't come up with a notice. It should just not work.
It comes up-
I think the Roku notice you're getting is because it sees that you're on a VPN.
You don't think so?
I think you get it even if you're not on the VPN. 'Cause I run both the VPN and the other simultaneously.
What if I brought my little TV and the my little 24-inch TV and the Fire
Okay.
Stick?
Sure.
Okay.
We'll show and tell it.
Yeah,
See
show
if
and
there's-
tell it. Because I think a lot of other people have this question, the questions too.
My question is, why do you use Fire Stick and not Roku?
Yeah, why aren't you just using a Roku?
It's much easier.
Because I have a Fire Stick TV and I just have it up there on this little thing and I get in bed and watch it.
With-
So right now, all I ever watch on the
Like-
Fire Stick
You
is
can do
like
Roku just as
Dateline,
easy.
huh?
You could do it in Roku too.
Well, actually, it's easier than spoofing. Like the Roku issue you're having is because it's an app that's installed in this Android device. I actually don't know what happens when you try using a VPN alongside it.
Well, I used it in the trailer all summer, but I didn't have a problem, and we were in the United States.
You don't need the VPN.
So now
And
I'm trying
that's
to
why
use
I
it
think
down
it's
here.
related to the VPN. The successful way to use a Roku down here, like you can't get in and change DNS addresses in a Roku, right? You have to do all that stuff outside the Roku before you get to the Roku. Yeah, if you want to add a VPN, it has to be in a router that's a
Right.
hardwired VPN, and then your Roku is in behind that. Whereas
If
like
I
all
bought a
these
Roku
other devices,
box.
we can put
And the
static
Roku's
addresses in
connecting
there.
to the net through your network.
So in Linda's case is she wants to use the VPN on the Android device that she's installed the Roku device
It's a
app
Fire
in,
Stick.
right? It is a Fire Stick.
Yeah.
The which
But
is an
how is that
Android
getting
device.
to the internet? It's getting to the internet through your local
Wi-Fi.
network, correct?
Right, but it's supposed to be going through the VPN that's a software VPN on the same platform that it's running on. And I wouldn't put it past the app to be aware enough, self-aware
Well, I
enough.
mean, I've never done it, but you can set up Proton, and maybe every VPN in the world. I don't really know this that well, but you can set up Proton where your network, all your network traffic goes through Proton.
Well, sure, but you still need
Doesn't
to
that solve the problem?
You need to have a piece of hardware that's acting as that gateway. In this case, the Fire Stick is acting as that gateway. So if you want to have the whole network, then your router or a computer that you've set up to be a router has to be that
Right.
gateway. And what I was saying to Linda is that when you use the Roku device, you can't static assign any IPs, you can't do any of those changes in the hardware. So you have to have this gateway I'm just mentioning. Has to be this
So why not
device's
just run
computer.
it through the Wi-Fi, and then your whole house is going through a VPN? You're in the United States.
Yeah.
Well, that is a solution. She's looking for a solution where the VPN is installed in the Fire Stick and it's not working correctly with the Roku channel. And I'm justifying why I would bet the Roku channel is self-aware and it sees you've got a VPN because it's able to see you've got a VPN. And it's just saying, no. It wouldn't, I wouldn't put it past the software to behave like that.
I don't know. I'm using Starlink. I do
What?
have a separate.
If you're using Starlink, then you shouldn't need a VPN.
No, I'm using Starlink, and it's from Mexico.
Oh, it's a Mexican.
And I have a
Starlink,
router
okay.
attached to it. Because like Magic Jack doesn't work unless you have a router attached to it. You can't just
Well, it
plug
seems
Magic
like
Jack
if you
into the.
pointed the router to a VPN provider,
I could point the router. I don't have I don't have that VPN installed on the router. Should I be having it?
Well, one thing you could do is that smart DNS proxy. You could change your DNS addresses in the router, and it would change it across the network.
and you go to whatever VPN service.
Boy, I'm
you're
not
using.
that smart.
But
He
we
could do that
changed
for
it
you.
in the mesh.
Yeah, that's what
He could do that for you.
Christine's doing. You're still using smart DNS proxy, right?
Well, whatever we did in the mesh, we changed the numbers
For the DNS.
for the DNS.
Down here?
Yeah.
So that it's pointing to smart DNS proxy, then you go to that page and you authorize your internet number,
Which I don't
and you're in
remember
the
how to
States as far as Roku, Amazon. They have a whole list of services that they guarantee you can access as though you're in the United States.
Well, if you repointed the router, you're in the United States for everything.
I don't
no,
think you could
only on a
repoint
VPN. In
the
proxy is
Starlink
not a
router.
VPN.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, the proxy.
If you pointed your router to a VPN service,
Yeah.
then
Then it would be
everything
whatever that
coming
exit
off
node is.
your local network would be in the United States.
So I could put the VPN onto that router.
No,
You can't do that with the Starlink router, can you?
No, I've got a separate router.
I think
you would
that
have
the
to have a
term-
router
right, okay.
that supports VPNs.
Right.
Without
I'm
a router,
sure.
yeah.
That does the one I bought.
If it supports VPNs, then you would just need the instructions for the VPN provider how to set up the router to be a VPN. And what Richard's saying, you could have separate Wi-Fi broadcasting.
Yeah.
And every time you connected to that, it'd be like you're in the States. Or you could just
Or you
roll
could
with
just
the one and always
everything
be
and
like
always
you're
be
in the
United
States. Yeah.
I mean, the way Proton's set up is there's actually a kill switch built in for privacy and security that if it can't connect, you can't connect to the internet, right? If it can't connect to Proton VPN, if that connection is lost in the middle of a transmission, it just shuts everything down.
And again, this is
Okay.
where ExpressVPN was wonderful because you could just put all that into a router and turn it on. There isn't anyone offering anything like that right
And
now.
at one point, ExpressVPN was going to have their own router with it built in, right?
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Is that they do, yeah. You can firmware update, or they'll sell you a router that already has a software in. And what that means is they can get into it, they can see what's going on, you can manage it from your service page. And so these are features that I love recommending, that I am not recommending anymore because it's a bad actor owning them now.
Uh-huh.
But we need something like that. We need a router service. We need a VPN router service that would provide you with a piece of hardware that you would stick in the mix of your network, your local area network, that they're responsible for, they've been vetted, you trust them, and all you have to do is plug this piece of equipment between your home area network and your internet provider. You just drop that box in between the two, and then you're on a VPN that you trust. That's what we need. And ExpressVPN was very close to that.
Well, I wonder though, and I don't know the answer to this question, or not asking you to look at their documentation now, but Proton has beautiful documentation, and they might have a router configuration stuff.
They would, and all of these VPN providers do. The issue is the router you're using needs to be a VPN router. If it's not a VPN router, it's not going to be able to support that.
Well, it sounds like in her specific case, you said you have
I think that TP link, it's brand new.
Well, Well, a good rule of thumb is if the box says VPN router, then it supports a VPN.
All right, I'll look at it.
Yeah. If it doesn't, then it doesn't support a VPN.
Okay. So let me see.
So this junk that Telmex hands out.
Doesn't support a VPN.
Right.
Yeah.
Junk. They're router.
They'll allow a pass through for a VPN, but they won't host a VPN.
So
I
you
mean,
have
we could
put
get
a separate
into
router on.
some real hacking topics if this is something you guys appreciated, because we could build our own routers. We can buy computers now that are under $200 that could handle the job. Add some USB Ethernet ports to it, load a Linux distribution, and make those our routers.
Sure we could.
We could,
Well,
yeah.
There's.
I'd be anybody else into it. I would do
Well,
it.
you don't have to do that. You can get a I think it's GLI.net router for $90. That's all configured for several OpenWRT and it's configured for a whole bunch of the real nice.
Chester was online with us,
If
and
anyone needs a Netgear R7000,
where has he gone?
I think it's running
We may have-
DDWRT, but it
We
might
may
be
have
running
lost that.
Do you have one of those?
Netgear. I've
Wow.
got multiples of those.
I'm gonna go into the second
You
meeting.
want to sell one?
Yeah,
What is that worth?
not much.
Either that or he's not asking much. I don't know.
It's really? You got those laying around? Huh. Well, I had my eye on
I had
this.
3 of them. They have a great internet Wi-Fi strength, much better than a lot of the other routers I've had.
You gonna be here next week?
Doubtful.
Doubtful. Why not?
Because I'm the installer of a kitchen, a bath,
Oh.
bedroom stuff.
My condolences.
Yeah. The contractor built the shell.
My husband's been trying to install a door, and because it's in a stick-built house,
Okay.
Well,
he's
my
crazy.
wife
Did have the
is
meeting
doing
open.
Door
Chester just
installation
left it. We have
supplies
2 minutes left.
like
I'm gonna close this
way
meeting and rely on.
I see
new
guys
meeting.
do it. and I'm
Well,
like,
I mean, we brought the door down from
That's
the US and
When
the
I'm
frame.
gonna sell, I can't remember if it's running
He's good.
DWRT or if it's running.
We'll
Of course
see
you're
if
not.
I looked
if
at
Chester
that
catches up with us.
before I got so
Do
fascinated
you
with
want
this
my
other
contact
device,
information?
but it's going to be a pain in the ass to get the other device because it's, I have to buy it through Amazon USA.
Yeah, I think it's probably $25 or something. Not
Okay, we've been doing this for about an hour and 20 minutes, so we're reaching the end. I want to say a couple things before I forget. Seguro Isano rock 10K, 5K walk run for women's shelter happening on the 9th of February. There's plenty of tickets. They're looking for runners. They're looking for walkers, everybody. So you can go to seguroisano.org to find more information. I have written a piece of software for the running results that will be available through a QR code. So if you guys have any interest in that, ask
Did
me
you get
about
that
it.
demo QR code?
Say again?
Did you get the demo QR
I didn't
code?
have a chance to get into it, but yeah. And it was actually something that I wanted to bring up because I was trying to figure out how to do a QR code for this web address. We're going to be displaying the results in a web address that's something like runners.seguroisano.org. And I wanted a QR code that if you just pointed it to it, it would provide that URL. And it turns out, like everything else in this marketing world, there is 1,000 ways to do it. If you want to subscribe to something, or if you want to pay a fee, or if you want to, at the very least, need to sign up for something to just generate a QR code for a web address. What I discovered was in both Chrome and in Edge, you can create a QR code on the fly from any web page that you're looking at.
And they're charging you though.
They're not
by
charging you.
recording that.
Well, I'm sure
In the
they've got an
in the case
analytic
of
that's
Chrome,
yeah.
Google, and in the case of
It's Microsoft
Edge,
and it's Google. Yeah.
Microsoft are recording that you, Scott Stimson, generated a QR code for this particular
I mean, if
URL.
if you're gonna go into those nuances, I could have easily done it with a private browser that I wasn't signed in on.
That's true.
Yeah, it is just a feature on the on Microsoft Edge. You can click with the right mouse button in the web page, and from the menu you'll find Generate QR Code, and then you've got this graphic that you can point a phone to, and it'll take you to that website. So that's very cool, because if you needed a QR code and you went out into the Google sphere, you would be prompted to pay a dozen different services to help you do that. And one of the services that I found, which I imagine represents many of the services, doesn't even encode the actual web address. It encodes a shortcut link, which they obviously control. So it kind of like a bit.ly link. So you get a QR, here, take this QR code, it's for free. When you follow that with your phone, it doesn't go to the link that you want. It goes to them, and they look up the link that you want.
So not only have you compromised your own privacy generating it, but you've compromised the privacy of every single person.
Yeah, that's right. Because you've
that
pushed
you
all of
forwarded
them
it to.
through their server.
This is the bonus part.
Right. So this was a nice find to see that this was built right into it. Under Chrome, you have to go to share the file. It took me a while to find it. You go into, you click the three dots, and then in that pull down list, there's an option to share, send this file, and you go into that menu and you'll find QR code. And this is actually kind of cool. I mean, you could even be looking at something on your phone and they want the same address. You could give them the QR code for that page.
I've had horrible luck with QR.
Yeah, I
codes.
don't like using
It takes me to some spams.
The
It has happened.
phone doesn't read it properly, or
I don't know what happens, but when my husband goes for his allergy injections, they want you to sign in, look at the QR code. And he didn't realize it because he's not as savvy, and it took him someplace else and it was charging.
okay.
So now he goes to the front desk. And says,
I completely see that. I mean, imagine you've got like some donation page floating around in the community and somebody comes along and reproduces them but uses their QR code.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? They could just like take the whole flyer and just change the QR code. Right? It's something.
They could take your whole
Yeah.
flyer and change the QR code.
Yeah.
That's like the early computer hacking thing where the person went
See
into
it,
the
Judy?
bank and took all the deposit slips out and substituted his that were pre-printed with his account.
Right?
man.
At
Yeah.
that time, the banks weren't checking if it was pre-printed or not, and they ran it. And the guy let it go for like a
Yeah,
week,
wow.
cashed it in, they never caught him.
wow.
So yeah, like with anything else, QR codes, you want to be very aware of where it's taking you.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I've got another tip of freebies out there that you probably would have ended up paying for. If I hadn't mentioned it before, I had to put together a little like 90-second video. The girls put it together, but what they requested was that it was subtitled. And so there are services. If you go out looking in the Google sphere, you'll find dozens of places that will sell you subtitling, the AI generated subtitling. But if you've got a Windows computer and you are running Clipchamp, which is the video editor that has been bought by Microsoft and now included for free, then they've got a subtitle generator built right into it. So I was able to take that video and just bring it up in a Windows computer and ask it to create closed captions. And it goes as far as, I don't know if you guys have spent any time with subtitles,
All
but
the time.
it's a standard. It's a file standard used by programs. and Clipchamp will create that file for you.
Is that an SRT file?
An SRT file, that's
Yeah.
right. So
I mean, I was wondering if it was the same as movies, because that's what you get on
it's
movies.
exactly the same as movies. It will create an SRT file for you if you need it. It will superimpose. Like that's the thing that you see most often is it superimposes the subtitles on your product and exports a new video with titles on it. But Clipchamp for free will use an AI to create the subtitles, and you can choose to store those in a separate SRT file. I've not tried this yet, but if I needed subtitles for a video I bootlegged, I might stick it in Clipchamp and see if it creates the subtitles.
How about in the movie theater?
Well, now they've got some glasses. I keep seeing them on Instagram. I don't know if they actually work or not, but apparently they can subtitle anyone.
I
came
wish
up with
they
two
would
questions.
sync.
Okay, Dave.
What's the price of coffee here?
I don't know. 40 pesos, 20 pesos, something like that.
He'll tell you up there.
Yeah.
I figure you would appear in here. Okay, I have a Roku TV.
Okay.
How do I get back to change the source
Okay.
to use an HDMI port?
When you plug one in, it should appear as an app. That port should appear in the squares just right alongside YouTube. You should see a new HDMI port when you plug it in that didn't exist before. And the only reason it would have existed before is if you'd gone into your settings and you set to put that port on the menu. Because there's a master menu and you put a check mark next to each device that you want in the menu. But even if you didn't have it checked, it should appear in the menu automatically when you plug in an HDMI device. It also, in my experience with Roku-based TVs, it should sense that something has been like say for example, you connect a Amazon stick, you should be able to press the home button on the Amazon remote, and that would prompt the TV to change input source. Does that help?
Did that. Well, how it looks. I need to play with it a little bit.
Yeah. Well, keep those two concepts in mind. It should create that. It's like for all practical purposes, an icon for that source channel. It should create that automatically when it senses there's a source. And if that's not created and you want to force it to create it, go into the settings for the menu and you'll be able to put a check mark next to your input. So I'm good, thank you. For the input sources you want to have appear in that Roku menu. I have a number of Roku TVs at the bed and breakfast that I've become really familiar with.
Yeah, my place has old TVs. They're both pretty bad.
Well, yeah, I've actually really liked the Roku TVs when we first got them because it was one of the first. Well, I still think Roku does channels better than Amazon does. But you could buy a TV, pull it out of the box, plug it in, hook it up to your Wi-Fi, and have TV. It was the old experience. I went to Sears, bought a TV, plugged it in, and started getting channels. That's how the Roku TV felt. You had to hook it up to the Wi-Fi, and now you have channels coming in. And Amazon, even with the Amazon TVs, their live offering is very confusing. Sometimes it's a great experience, and other times it's a hodgepodge of different apps and services that they support. But Roku is very cut and dry. They've really done a really good job of providing like a cable menu experience of content.
Many people still using Radiosity.
Yeah, yeah, it's still a real popular thing to do.
And my wife loves it because they have Turner Classic Movies.
Yeah, my folks rely on it. They don't have any other TV source wherever they are. Now they use Radiosity for everything. Yeah.
Linda was saying she sells a TV service. But it has commercials.
Well, yeah, I think
I'll wait for my new Roku. I mean, my new satellite dish.
most of the live TV offerings are that. There's no taking out. Like live TV is with commercials,
Yeah.
and they're just rebroadcasting it through whatever service that you've bought. Even the Roku and the Amazons, the reason that they have live TV is that advertising model is so profitable that they can just include it in their product and do licensing deals against the content and make money just right off of those streams. There's also the same thing is going on with Pluto TV, another app that would provide you with TV, and Plex. Advertising revenue has corrupted the Plex experience. I'm so disappointed because Plex was a great system for hosting your own content. You could have a hard drive full of TV shows and movies and music and hook it up to a Plex server and have access to that anywhere on the internet. You could give your friends access to it. And Plex has gotten so in the weeds with, we're going to provide you with content because they make so much money off the advertising that they put across it, that their original thing that I love so much, so many of us love so much, feels like it's kind of an ignored stepchild. Every time I go to Plex now, it's much easier for me to watch their movies than my movies. That was never the point. Are you out of here, Dave?
I'm out of here.
I think we're shutting this down
Yeah.
unless there's some recommendations people would like to make. There's nobody left online.
You disconnected them.
Yeah, I guess so. They're gone. And
Next week I'm going to be traveling.
oh, all right. Will
Yeah.
we see you online then? When you're situated? No?
Oh, yeah.
Jim should be back. He's coming back Saturday.
Oh, great. Well, Paul, we look forward to having you back online when you're situated back home.
Oh, my speaker.
Yeah. It's not the speaker, it's your microphone. And your computer thinks it works, but it doesn't work. You unmute it, and you should be making sound, but it's not making sound.
That's the excuse you gave me on charging on my.
It says something like that. It's too big for the.
That was good to hear somebody else having that exact
Yeah,
same
that's
problem.
interesting.
Exact-
I don't know if
had that
that's
problem on my old
related to the
laptop,
microphone issue.
And I looked up what it was, and it said,
Yeah.
shut
Video,
off, and
maybe.
take your driver out.
Maybe,
and
because
then
there are video
reinstall it
settings that
on
maybe
his
you don't
phone.
have enough bandwidth
Yeah,
for.
we wound up plugging it into a laptop to get the
Yeah, that's interesting.
download
It's one of
done,
those mysteries.
and it started charging again. So I've got to check. I use this Anchor power strip unit. It's got
I think we
two
hit
USBs,
everything
two
except for the
USBs,
topic that
and
I
two
brought.
3.5. and
I brought one topic and we didn't
fully
do it.
charges that
Maybe
iPad
next week.
for
Well,
months.
guys, we didn't have any movies or recommendations of that kind.
And it's just all of a
Man
sudden
from
quit
Earth.
working.
That's my recommendation.
All right, Jonathan recommends Man from Earth.
It's about a professor that he's gonna retire,
Or-
and he invites all of his colleagues from different areas of the university, like paleontology and all those kind of different matters. And he rents a cabin to have one night for them, and then he reveals them that he's Jesus Christ, and he tests them to put him on the test to prove that he's Jesus Christ or not. So people the guy
Wait
that
a
knows
second.
about the earth.
I've seen this movie. He doesn't say he's Jesus
Well,
Christ.
no, he doesn't say it, but he implies
Oh,
it.
see you next week.
I thought he was implying that he was an alien.
No, I won't if you shut it off, I can let you know what happens at the end because I don't want to spoil it to anybody.
Resident Alien is a favorite.
Oh yeah.
See you guys
Later.
next season. That's right. Well, and online, hopefully. Yeah. See you, Paul. Man from Earth.
You have to rewatch it, but because he clearly says he doesn't say that I am, but he has what
Prove
if.
that I'm not.
And he
But I
starts-
think I know the movie you're talking about because
Yeah.
it's one of those
it's just like a
independent
one take
discussion
movie. They're
movies,
always in that room, and everybody's like, "Well, Earth was like this." So blah 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 blah. And he describes everything, and then and he has a Van Gogh picture, an original, signed from Van Gogh, and he starts proving everything. I don't want to
Hey,
give the twist if
hey,
you want to watch it
After
again.
that lady in Michigan, man,
Uh huh.
did you hear about that?
What?
She bought this painting at a garage sale.
Oh, that it was an original.
It's an original Van Gogh.
Yeah, I read about it.
Yeah.
All
the-
right.
The next question you got to ask is, okay, by any chance was your grandfather or great grandfather in the German army?
Oops.
Another question.
That's
You got-
usually what happens
that's
when
what-
somebody finds a Van Gogh.
Yeah,
If
they
somebody
usually
steps
had it.
up and go, hey, that belongs to my family.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been the San Carlos Computer Club. We meet every Tuesday in Tequilas at 10 a.m. You're welcome to join us either online in our virtual meeting or here in person. We normally have seasons that run until I get back from Alaska. So this is the 2024-2025 season, and this has been the 15th meeting of this season. Until next Tuesday, tech on.